Hey, this podcast holds nothing sacred. Join Alan, Marcos, and Josue. This is Life, Tech, and Sundry. And what is Sundry? It's our experiences put in a melting pot to the internet. So join us on this wild ride called the LTS Podcast. Follow us at LT Sundry on Twitter, LTS.pod on Instagram, Life, Tech, and Sundry on YouTube, and all your favorite podcast distribution services. Stay frosty.
Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the LTS Podcast. Not out of office this time. It's the big three. With me, I have Alan. Say hi to Alan.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be back. Marcos, Mr. J, thank you again. Can't wait for this convo to get started.
Rob. And what about you, Mr. J? How you doing?
Here.
Yes, he is on the move. Mind you, he will be cutting out intermittently. It's okay. But I assume he said I am here.
Don't worry, I'm still strong.
Still standing?
In the thick of it.
This is spot.
Like a famous YouTube video said, stop moving.
Stop moving.
No, I'm in the highway near you say. I'm in the highway. I can't stop moving. If I'm moving, I get ticket. If I stop moving, I get ticketed. You don't want a ticket out there, Mr. J. Just
stop grind.
Hey.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so it's the start of summer, and by the end of this recording, it might as well be summer. But Alan, do you want to share something to the people, or do you want how you been? Do you want to share something to the listener?
Yes, it is super hot out here.
Was something about matcha?
Oh, I'm
a matcha boy now.
Yes, I am. Yeah, actually, speaking about matcha, well, not matcha per se, but I am sipping on some green tea.
Nice.
No, I was gonna. I think the only thing I have to share with you guys, it's been hot, and then the weather's been kind of weird because it's like raining and then not raining. But yeah,
smoky because of Canada,
you say? Well, I don't know. What else is there to share besides? Oh yeah, tomorrow's Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there.
We
salute you. Yeah, absolutely, we salute you.
The troops because it's also the Army's birthday.
250. Woo!
As
Shout
of the
out to
recording.
everybody that's been in the armed forces. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you guys do in protecting and serving. Absolutely.
Standing in attention.
Yes, we salute you. Thank you. And yeah, definitely also, again, Father's Day. Shout out to all the pop-pops out there. Yes, sir. And what else? Who else do we need to shout out? Any birthday? It was
my birthday last week.
Yes, Mr. Marcos' birthday. Shout out to Mr. Marcos.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. J? Anything you want to say to the people?
The good people.
Do not fear, for I am here.
Yes.
Of course. Enough of that.
No. Actually, I got a story before we start.
Yes.
He was telling me he was whispering in my ear. But I was crazy that I was in Vegas last week.
Yes.
What happens in Vegas?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
In Vegas stays in Vegas.
Not anymore.
What?
Not
we'll find out today.
And,
this is not on my watch.
And what's crazy is that the last night we just came back eating some delicious. We had a hotel by the strip. And by the strip, it was closed down. They were like, it was like around by the Bellagio Hotel.
Yeah.
And me and my guys were like, what happened? And what happened over here? Like, we parked our car, our rental car, got up to the hotel room. Oh, there was a shooting. Like that night.
No, like a movie?
No. Like when you guys got off.
Oh.
I got hit with the two. What happened was that they were like shooting in front of the Bellagio Hotel. It's like supposedly there was like some beef that was going on. But like at the end of the day, it was like the guy pulled up in a stream, shot him and his wife.
What?
Yo, that's crazy. And this is why they locked down, was because they're investigating what's going on, what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. And when I went to sleep, I knocked up.
Of course.
Yes. So you weren't in the area, the vicinity, were you?
Like we were like I said, we came back from eating good. And,
yes.
And then when we came back, it's been like 40 minutes since like the incident happened. Like
Yeah.
it was about like I think like around like close to 11 at night, and then we came back. I started no, it was like 10 something, like 10:50, and then we came back like around like 10:30, 11:30.
God dang. But
Yeah.
nobody in your crew got hurt.
No, but we were all, like I said, we all went to eat. We were munching. I was starving all day. I was like, I need some sustenance.
Right, of course.
Yeah. You know, we were munching. We had that Kobe beef. We had a bunch of like good things to me. Like, what's going back? Like, what's going on?
Okay. No worries. Yeah. Alan,
Well,
I sent you a
before we
message.
start,
Just a heads up.
Yeah, got it.
Of course, of Kobe beef, right?
Kobe beef, exactly.
Very good.
Okay, with that one, dear listeners, let's they probably posted this in a blog somewhere or in a news website about this event that happened to Mr. J, and you already know they probably refreshed it. So, if you want to watch it, where are you gonna go to watch this, Mr. J and Alan? Something called the Wayback Machine.
Oh yeah.
Let me read you a story. Story time with Marcos. No, shower thoughts. They say history is written by the victors, but online it's often furiously typed by whoever hits save last. And today, we're plunging into those hidden digital archives to unearth the secrets, strategies, and hilariously regrettable gaffes that truly shape our interconnected world. Let's slide into the Wayback Machine, Internet's time capsule extraordinaire. Forget dusty archives. The Wayback Machine is the internet's ultimate DeLorean, letting us sprint back through digital history to explore vanished websites and online relics. We gotta go back, Morty. We gotta go back. What else? Yes, online relics, proving the internet truly never forgets. Mostly. Need proof? It famously preserved Enron's manipulated financial statements and glowing yet false press releases on its public website, offering critical, time-stamped snapshots that later allowed investigators to meticulously trace the evolution of their deceptive public narrative as the scandal unfolded. What do you guys think about that? It held receipts because I think Enron was held in contempt in court, right, for lying about their financial statements, Alan?
Yes.
So because of that, they're like, no, we didn't. Look, we have our receipts over here in our website and all those things. Your Honor, we have the receipts actually corrected. And who brought in the Wayback Machine? Turns out it's a government thing. Yeah. It was aliens. No. Imagine it's like the Indiana Jones thing.
No.
So beyond a nostalgic trip, it functions as a critical digital detective, offering irrefutable proof of how narratives, brands, and movements have morphed online over time. A crucial tool for anyone digging for the truth in the digital past. There he was, as a critical digital detective, offering irrefutable proof of how narratives, brands, and movements have morphed online over time.
And Marcos. Don't forget about Marcos.
Of course, what you can expect is that things change, and this keeps receipts.
You know what this reminds me of though, for real?
What?
Reminds me of that news station you always be listening to. And I'm like, no, who told you?
Oh, you mean dot?
Yeah. I don't know what radio station it is, but they be feeding Marcos' lies here. Him and his boss. He be telling me, he's like, yo, we hear on the radio that you're getting X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I barely even got X. I don't know where Y and Z come from.
Tomatoes, by the way.
What? I didn't say location though.
Yes, you did.
What'd I say?
Right, Alan? We caught him in the recording?
I would hope not, but yeah, if he did, then tomatoes, but I didn't hear it.
Okay. Oh, but yeah, it's right there. Yeah, anyways. But yeah, so point of order, it's a news radio station. It's not a drama station. You'd expect it to try to give in factual news, but nowadays you can't really expect much from them, right? But I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to be informed of what's around in in his areas, well, okay, so let's slide in again. Going in again, of course. Okay, let's see, where was I? Okay, a crucial tool for anyone digging for truth in the digital past. This was pivotal when the Internet Archive documented the rapidly shifting digital landscape during the Arab Spring in North Africa and the Middle East, meticulously preserving blogs, news sites, and social media content that was often quickly censored or deleted, thereby securing an invaluable real-time historical record of manipulated political shifts. Monumental, my bad. This isn't just about old memes. It's a profound historical and societal mirror, providing an unparalleled, comprehensive record vital for grasping the internet's colossal impact and fact-checking information as it shifts through the ages, just as journalists who frequently use it to corroborate quotes, track the quiet disappearances of controversial statements, or monitor subtle yet significant policy changes on official websites that have since been stealthily altered or even removed. Like tracing the evolving, often more cautious stance on climate change, information across various government agencies' sites, ensuring transparency by exposing what once was stated. What do you think, Alan? Turns out that this is a free website. Anything that is online has the ability to be archived. Like even the website that we're on recording has an ability to be there on the archive. Even X, now before Twitter, but even their posts are archived there. Mind you, it's not a foolproof plan because they have the way they do it. It's proprietary. I'm not even going to pretend to know, but X has found a way to counter the ability to pull data from these people or these websites. Wayback Machine isn't the only one, but that's the one that I know of, that it's .org website, and you have to be a government entity, approved entity by the United States to be able to have a .org website. And there has to be other websites, mind you. I don't know all of them, but do you think in your day-to-day you might need to check how something looked in the past, a website looked in the past?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a tricky question because it's like maybe for the nostalgic factor for certain websites, and then maybe just to have accountability for other websites that are not entertainment based. It might be helpful, but I don't know how helpful it really is in the long run. I mean, if you want to chronicle, like, I guess the past, it seems like a good idea, but I don't know.
It came out to be like in 1995 or 1996, right in the .com era, in the thick of it. Like the .com boom was like between 1990 to 1999 or 2000 even. In those 10 years, that .org website was launched, and in 2002, it became a public website accessed. Like you didn't need to have a government clearance, and became like, look, we're archiving this, and it became like a public library. You can come around and just have a search engine, and it has a search function, and you can just look. It appears like a calendar, and it shows like snapshots. This is the website you're looking at, and these are the changes that has happened in this time frame. Where do you want to go? Mm-hmm.
Well, again, for example, go ahead.
For me, it was whatchamacallit. I had to do something about CNN, and I was like, it was for CNN, and I was digging through what was happening. I don't know if you know what happened with the Buffalo school system, the drama that's going on in New York's Buffalo school system.
No,
they were
what's
saying,
going on?
Well, allegedly, first, it's not alleged. There's a full-on investigation happening that there's been mishandling of how the school system up in Buffalo is, of how they're handling incidents regarding students or teachers or anyone that happens in school grounds. They've been mishandling it on how to call the authorities, emergent EMS specialist, or whatever they need. They've been mishandling, and a lot of things get closed because they're basically mislabeling the information. It doesn't go through the proper protocol. And, people that potentially got assaulted in school, or an incident that happened doesn't go beyond because of mislabeling. And the police officer that went to another podcast, and the person is a 10-year plus veteran in the police community, and is a veteran, and he works in the special victims units in Buffalo, and he says, this is pissing, basically super simple words, this is pissing me off, and I want to shed light to what's going on. So please, contact the local representative, contact the FBI if there's a way to do this, like via email or to Miss Hochul to get at it, to investigate what's going on. Turns out that they've been investigating, and that they've been the school system over there has been negating or canceling subpoenas. They've been not responding to subpoenas in the past. They have records of them since the 70s, 79, since the late 70s of them, the shenanigans going on. But this is since they've had records of shenanigans being mislabeled, mind you. It's not that they're not reporting on it, it's that they're digging it in the pile of mislabeling. And that's what's pissing him off, the police officer.
Wait, so are they hiding the information or not?
They're not hiding it, they're just mislabeling it, and nothing comes of it, even though it's labeled and it's in the system. I want to say they might as well be hiding it, right? In my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's pretty bad, and there's a lot of comments online, and the news reporting groups over there locally, instead of reporting on the news, because this police officer went to a podcast to, if you will, have his platform for over 30 minutes and talk about his procedures of what happened, obviously without it breaking protocol. And they have been saying that, why did he go to a podcast where they're on a table just drinking White Claws and the guy burps in the middle of his conversation? He was being as honest as he can, versus why not going to the news network? And he said, and he went to the podcast again, and just because if it would have been dug by the news system, that have only been seen by like 20,000 people or so. Just with that podcast, it's been seen by over 2 million already. The FBI has already been informed thousands of times by the followers. Literally, the news group, a local news group in Buffalo, instead of reporting on the story, are just trying to bring the image of the police officer down. Look, he was on X list for being rude to people, and that's okay. They should report on that, but they're again obfuscating the news of the school and just concentrating on how the officer's presenting himself when he's giving information, which is not the point of what he was trying to get at. Mind you, he gets called to the newsroom. He's interviewed for 20 plus. They're almost 30 plus minutes. They only put snippets of the interview. Hold up, let me just pause and relaunch again. Hold up. Yeah, but yeah, and I was saying before that they're obfuscating.
Out there, Marcos.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
They were obfuscating the news of reporting of what's going on in the school system versus what was of just the image of the officer and putting in 2 or 3 minutes or seconds of snippets of the interview that they had in the news group. Guess what happened? It didn't go anywhere.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, nowhere. In the news group, it went nowhere versus them using social media and actually shifting headlines and reporting on actually what's going on with the school. What do you think, Alan? Like they use the stamps of the Wayback Machine, how they were concentrating on the wrong thing, potentially opening the news whatever channel, opening themselves to a lawsuit
Because there was manipulation of the information being recorded.
and the image of the guy. ¿Cómo se llama? Defamation.
So what you're saying is Marcos is telling lies again.
Bro.
Well, I don't know if it's lies from Mr. Marcos, but again, I think these type of issues should be resolved by, I guess, some sort of court of law. It's just, I'm not sure I'm gathering who is the one that's trying to get to the bottom
It's
of
not
this.
one. It's a content creator, and he's also an police officer, and he's also a drill sergeant. So he has his hat.
He's the one that wants to get to the bottom of this of his own accord, or it because it affects him negatively.
Not affects him negatively. It just bothers him, like pisses him off that what triggered him is that he got called because two children were almost kidnapped in the school, in the elementary school, and the school only called the parents at the end of the day or during the day because one of the kids urinated his pants. Instead of saying why he urinated his pants, they literally just obfuscated everything. I'm like, what's going on? Like, come on, like report things properly, and that kid is going to need help. So
right, so you're saying that because of the situation, how do you tie this up to the Wayback Machine again?
Because the news group literally wrote on their website, they were just reporting on, they just like one sentence of what happened of the event, and they just do the whole post about the officer, how he's, seeing it as on the there's something called the Brady list for police officers, that it's like a blacklist of them having too many demerits. That was false. That was fully false. The officer was never in the Brady list. He was under review because he was being mean multiple times on his body cam footage. He was mean to a judge that was drunk on the street, and he was yelling at his partner, lower in rank, newer in the job, and he said, "You take care of the other drunk people, I'll take care of the judge," and said, "Sit down, shut up, you're drunk, sit down, anything you say will be held against you, just sit down on the curb, don't do anything else." And the judge was trying to throw the book at him as he's drunk, being belligerent. "No, sit down. That's the first one. The second time, he was in pursuit of perps that robbed an individual on the street. They assisted the person that got robbed, and they said, "Do you want us to chase him down?" He said, "Yes." "Do you want to join us in the car to follow where the people went?" Turns out that the slowest person was a overweight person. And he said, "That's one of the guys that assaulted me, that robbed me." "Okay." "And assaulted me." "Okay." So the officer in question jumped out of the car and grabbed the person and said, "Come here, fat boy," and put him in the car. Turns out he got reported for calling the perp a fat boy, and they dug on that side of the story, and which was false, that this was enough for him to be on a blacklist of police officers called the Brady list. Turns out that is false. He's never been, and he hopes to never be, but he's never been on that list, aka potential for defamation. So they opened a lawsuit on that news network, and they're using the receipts of how they manipulate their own news networks. They have screenshots of the preview. They have the Wayback Machine that they showed when they posted, who signed off on it, everything.
So is the police officer situation an example, or is it
an example,
the reason why?
An example of why.
So it's not the reason why, or it is the reason for the Wayback Machine, or is
in this story that I'm trying to weave, it's an example how the Wayback Machine got used.
Okay,
I personally know of.
Okay, but like again, so the initial question was that is the Wayback Machine essential or necessary or good? Is that what your original question was?
No, I'm just saying, is the Wayback Machine,
or what was the reason why you brought the Wayback Machine as part of the?
I was talking with Mr. J in the earlier podcast, and I asked him, "Hey, Mr. J, do you know what the Wayback Machine?" And he said, "No, I don't."
But you said that this is not the only type of archive.
There has to be, that I know of. This is a government one, so there has to be a .org website. So I don't know if there's other ones out there.
Right, but I guess in that sense, maybe I'm wrong. We can say, and I think you mentioned it earlier. I think you said like Twitter, like Instagram, like Facebook, like all these other TikTok, right? These apps that we have on our phones, they can kind of be considered some sort of like Wayback Machine, just because it kind of chronicles and archives a lot of the stuff that we place onto it or into it, right? We upload into the app. Excuse me. So it does archive. Now, does it do it seamlessly as far as like gathers information? No, the algo is made for entertainment purposes only, right? But
what if you do something in the past that violated TOS? They get to remove that content.
Yes and no, because I guess to a certain extent, if I'm understanding what you're telling me now with the Wayback Machine, and other things like it would probably kind of scan and archive,
save a snapshot.
Yeah. So even if you, whether it be you or the third party, or in this case IG or Facebook,
X.
yeah, like whoever the provider is or the company owner is, if they choose to delete your thing, I'm guessing Wayback or things like Wayback archive it and it's still there. I mean, I don't know how well people can scrub stuff off the internet anymore, but I guess it's a possibility. But I mean, if it's good, or if the question I'm trying to follow with you, or if I'm following, is that is it useful in certain use cases? I guess yes. I think to a certain point, statute of limitations also comes into play. If, to your example, if we're speaking about some legality of like, if someone's going to get in trouble and they can be tossed
defamation. Yeah.
I mean, I guess to like, again, the whole
who's reporting, like Mr. J said before.
But like, again, like what's the statute of limitations, right? Like maybe if it's close enough to the point in time that they're, you know, bringing this up in a court of law, I guess it makes sense. Well, that's what I would be.
Like, what is a statute?
That would be
statute of limitation. Like, what are you trying to ask there? What is the legal terms of having a snapshot?
Right. Well, like, how does that play into whatever the officer was doing, right? Or asking for?
And it was throwing a lawsuit.
Right. So if the lawsuit towards that entity of news station, if, you know, a certain amount of time has passed, then whether he has that piece of information or not,
the receipts, if you will.
Yeah, the court might just throw it out because, like, you know,
everything was this year within the past 3 months.
I don't know. You didn't state that. At least maybe I wasn't paying attention. But again, the way you just explained it, the Wayback Machine earlier, it's nice to have if you're gonna pursue some sort of use me.
And it's been used mainly for that situation, unfortunately.
Right. But again, if it's this year, okay, that makes sense. But like, say it's something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. Again,
this has been going since the 90s.
Again, but
since it has been there.
Right, but then the court of law would it take it into consideration? Is what I'm saying. So again,
I agree with you.
So again, I don't know how useful that could be for certain things. Maybe to poke fun at someone, like, oh look, maybe your haircut was really weird or something, or you were dressed up in a certain way. I mean, for kicks and giggles, maybe that works, but as far as legality goes in the court of law, especially for your example that you brought up, again, if it's this year or if it's, you know, during a time period that it would be useful, yeah, but after a certain time, I don't know how useful it would
Another
be.
example for nostalgia. Another example, right? Nostalgically speaking, let's imagine that MySpace is no longer a website, right? MySpace.com is no longer a website. Imagine. I don't know if it still is. You type on the search bar myspace.com, nothing appears. This website doesn't exist. Let's say you go to the Wayback Machine and you type myspace.com, it appears. Where do you want to go? You can go to 2010, you could go to 2007, and there are snapshots of what happened there, in interactable snapshots, because it's in that kind of in-depth ability to take what not only the screen, but interact of where each thing led, and take a snapshot to that where it led. But again, this is not legally speaking that it's mainly been used against Enron, like that legally happened, and the one that's happening within this 6 months, if you will, that's going on. It's unfortunate.
Just to pause you there, Marcos. I think the question is like, how does this relate to what they presented in the courts for the story with the cops and everyone?
The example that I said is that they were saying, oh, we didn't defame the officer, we never wrote that, and they show their website, right? They showed a version of their website where they have the story of what the officer's talking about, and to see nothing's happening here. The lawyer comes up and shows, yes, that example, and then shows the manipulated previous version of it, and it shows that it was edited at this time, at this date, and all those things. Whenever there's a manipulation of the website, a refreshing of the website, the Wayback Machine is prompted to take a screenshot of that new version at the moment that it becomes public, if you will. And this is just for news networks. Obviously, there's different services, but the one that they used that was legally recognized was in the Wayback Machine, because it was something archive.org. I don't know the actual name of it, but I know it just as the Wayback Machine. And they said, yeah, there's receipts there. There's screenshots from the law firm that was representing the officer to build the case, if you will. And right now it's under that analysis of, can we use And they showed that they've used the Wayback, not that law firm, legally speaking in the US, it has been used as evidence that is admissible or usable in court. That's what I'm trying to say. In that example, that the Wayback Machine is a tool in that sense, in legal terms, not only nostalgically speaking.
Yeah, but it's like, you bring up the example of nostalgia, and it's like, well, how does that relate back to
legal speaking? This is the example.
Yeah, legal speaking.
There's different versions.
Because look at it like this. It's like, I think if you have a server that stores information.
Yeah.
No. But look at this. Look at this. There's a difference because like Facebook, has a promise of like they'll keep as much information they can for as long as they can. But now it's like, for a legal sense, is like, well, do we need to store information from like 10 years back, 15 years back, or at the dawn of when internet started?
They've been since 1996. They've never stopped since 96.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Whenever that website comes out.
Right here that says otherwise.
When did the Wayback Machine launch? I know it was in the 90s. And it became public access in 2001.
I'll tell you right here, right now. Let's see. Wayback Machine.
Share screen.
Let's see.
Pixar didn't happen. Damn.
Capture enabled. Let me go back. Let me go Wikipedia.
Really? You're gonna use Wikipedia?
So it's a digital archive that was started by an American nonprofit organization based in San Francisco. It launched for public access in 2001. And then the Wayback Machine's earliest archives go back to at least 1995. And by the end of 2009, more than 38.2 billion web pages have been saved. And as of November of 2024, the Wayback Machine has archived more than 916 billion web pages and well over 100 petabytes of data.
Okay, so what does this prove? What was your question then?
So it's like,
yes, basically,
do we need all this?
Keep to everything.
And it's like, and on top of that,
non-profit sounds government.
How
this is
conjecture. No, Marcos. You gotta stop thinking about money here and think about facts. So what we do?
I'm just saying the
question here is like, is like, how valuable is this in a court of law? Because there are, like Alan says, statute of limitations.
What are examples of that?
It's like saying, hey, look, this person did, I don't know, like he robbed me of $10. Here's a proof. Okay, great. That was 20 years ago. Would that stand anymore? Are we still standing?
But I'm not going for the past one. I'm using within the past year. But okay,
even something like that, even something like that is like, so now we have that. It's like, how can we authenticate that this is real? Because remember, AI does exist.
It shows when it was manipulated.
It can be, no, but it's like, there are AI that doesn't have to anymore.
Yeah, but this is the past examples of the website. Go to
no, but this is no, but I'm saying like, this is the thing that should be a problem.
Your premise, your example.
How reliable is this information now that AI has been introduced into the world?
It shows snapshots.
How can we authenticate this? How can we certify that this is 100%? Every image has been looked at, checked, everything, and we can certify that everything we have
is real, is OG.
No, it's just web pages. But like I said, it's like, how can we certify that these are 100%, what they were back in the day, and they have not been manipulated in any way possible?
Because the way that they do it is that they show you're trying to prove the validity of the Wayback itself, right?
Yeah.
Not that the service, not that the data is there, of the validity that it's of that data. I mean, because they were countering it in the example of what that I have is the court example.
It's like I'll say this from 1995 when it started, up until like 2000, let's say like 20, like at the start of COVID, we can almost be sure, like we are 90% sure everything that's in the archive has not been manipulated, has not been touched.
Yeah.
Now the issue is going to be, well, now that AI has been introduced, how are we so sure that anyone could have
how can you manipulate the security of that website? That one is just, how can you throw that one into court to throw out that evidence then? Like that doubt to you, how can that stand in a court example?
I think it's like, because it's like at the same time, it's like, now that AI is here, we have to double and triple check, information online. It's like, how
So in
sure
this
are
case, proven guilty until innocent, or proven innocent until guilty? In this case, for the Wayback Machine, that's my question to you. What's your stance?
What was your question?
Is it
My
potentially?
stance is I'm still standing.
Yeah, but your stance is it already manipulated until you can prove it hasn't been manipulated, or is it free, unmanipulated until you prove that it's been manipulated on as of 2020?
I have no idea what you said.
What, Alan? Did you understand it?
Yeah, but I think we're
We're getting off the range, but I'm just trying to.
We're like
Let's
chasing
pull
our
it back then. Let's pull it back then.
The
Yeah.
reason I say is because, look, we're no lawyers, right? So a lawyer would probably have a better understanding of whether we're throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
Receipts are receipts factual.
Even if the receipts are there, again, it's statute of limitations still stands. Like, it would even make sense to bring it up, right? Even if it's quote unquote good evidence or whatever the case is, I wouldn't be able to start to try to argue if this is good or not good. And again, to Mr. J's point, how do we authenticate a piece of evidence that could easily be manipulated by either AI or a third party?
And that's the job of the lawyers to figure out.
Not really the job of the lawyer. The lawyer's gonna
Of the jury?
No. Well, the thing is that you're gonna use evidence that's gonna be the strongest evidence possible. So again, if the lawyer looks at it and says we can't
Authenticate
it, then why even use it or bring it up at all? That's how I'm looking at it. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but I would assume that a lawyer would be like, okay, maybe is there any other evidence that's stronger than this where we have definitive and we can authenticate it? And if so, then don't even bother with this other, obscure type of evidence.
obviously, yeah.
Right,
In the
so
example
that's
of the lawsuit.
Right. So that's how I would process that. So again, I think we're just chasing our tails at this point.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Let's slide into the other content then. What do you think about this one? Talking about some food, some edible stuff, Mr. J and Alan. Let's slide in with consumable. Life did not give us lemons, you say. That we created it ourselves, you say. And then it's a YouTube short, and I wanted to put a factuality rating on it. Turns out that lemons are not naturally occurring in nature.
How is that possible? Explain.
This isn't a theory. It's a botanical fact. The video illuminates how lemons, alongside with most common citrus fruits, are actually intricate human-cultivated hybrids born from ancient crossbreeding of just a few wild ancestors, making them a testament to agricultural ingenuity rather than nature's default. Turns out that one of the oldest fruits is la mandarina. How do you say that in English? Mandarin? No.
Mandarin.
The small guys. Turns out that those are the oldest. One of the oldest. Tangerines? No. Clementines. Those are actually one of the oldest versions that they have agricultural seeds that they found in Siberia. Up there in the permafrost, they were able to dig some samples out, and turns out that they've been over there for like thousands of years already. And so they have examples for that one. But lemons are basically a couple thousand years old, not like thousands of years old. That, like, even in nature, right? Nature finds a way to do crossbreeding stuff. Alan?
There he
Alan,
goes
no.
into the night.
No. But yeah, Mr. J, what do you think? Like, turns out that you could fly all the time, Dumbo. You didn't need the feather. The feather was you. What? Like,
So
I never thought about that one. Like, yeah.
So we went from clementines to feathers and flying.
But they say, like, when life gives you lemonade, bro, I'm gonna make the lemonade. I'll make it myself.
So
Like,
again, try to explain to me what was good with these lemons being like engineered by
yeah, they
someone?
were man-made the whole time. I thought they were naturally occurring.
Isn't that like with most fruit and vegetables?
Saying, like, the refrains, los refranes, how do you say that in English? The sayings, like, if
Sayings?
life... Yeah, I keep repeating myself. Continue.
Well, I'm guessing the saying, I mean, to your point, because of the manipulation and being, I guess, not so ancient and being a little bit, I guess, newer than other crops or vegetables
Yeah.
and the fruit. The saying is relatively new, I guess, compared to other sayings. Maybe I just don't know. It's kind of weird.
What do you think, Mr. J?
I think blasphemy.
I mean, it's, I don't know, man. Even if it's blasphemy, I don't like it. I thought it would, again, I don't like over there grandma's, we had lemon trees.
I'll say this is like, I don't think is that we made it. I think we just created an environment that came about. Yeah. Meaning that like, this is a hybrid of a mix of different fruits that are already around before that. And I think what had happened is that since we were, trading and putting plants out of their original location and putting the other ones, I think this is just a result of that. So it's like, maybe like at some point we had the citron, the bitter orange around the same spot, the bees came around with the birds.
They had a wild night.
And they pollinated, the wrong trees with the wrong pollen, and then out came out lemons. So I think that's probably what happened. That's what I think the articles that I'm reading here is leading towards more. It was like lemons, they don't occur naturally, but they're thinking that, they just came about because all these different fruits and vegetables were just, cross-pollinated. Hence why it's called a hybrid.
And somebody grabbed that lemon too. Oh, I like this. Let me take some seeds of this.
Well, yeah.
That's how.
Or maybe they're like, I'm gonna grow a citron. I'm gonna grow a bit of orange, and out came on a lemon. They're like, what is this?
They were playing Pokemon creator in the botanical garden.
Well, no. Again, it's the reason why I say it's not man-made, because man-made is meaning that like, we purposely did this to make something new when we didn't.
Oh, my GMOs.
It's leaning more towards that. We just put these fruits in the right space and the right time. The birds came in and pollinated and did this. This isn't like, like there are some situations where people are like, oh, I'm going to cross-pollinate these two plants and get a new one because, maybe one doesn't produce as much fruit, or maybe this one produces stronger resistant to, this disease. The way that they're writing it here is indicating that they just came about one day.
They just popped into life because cross-pollination.
Exactly.
Damn.
Which, I mean, that's happened before. That's how we get some of the newer fruits and vegetables that we know now.
Yes.
And then there's like other ones like corn. Corn is a good example that we, did that because...
There's examples. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we've done stuff to it.
There's the yellow corn and then there's the Native American corn.
What do you mean by that?
I think it's also yellow corn. No, but it's like no. Remember the original corn was small, thin, and like tasteless, and then they started cross-pollinating with other plants, and pop came out the ones that we know and love today.
Yes, sir. Okay, and now let's slide to a period where people were figuring out how to design smartphones.
Marcos, riddle me this, Mr. Marcos. Why do people in Puerto Rico or DR call oranges chinas?
Isn't it because there's like, I know the Mexican one, naranjas chinas. Those are the ones that have like a belly button. Like there's a different breed of orange, I guess. Or it's who the people that came in with the market say, this is called a Chinese orange. That's my theory. Why would happen?
Since you were talking about citrus, it just came. I remember that people from PR, from the island or from DR,
Caribbean,
places in the Caribbean and places like in Venezuela sometimes or Yucatan Peninsula, call oranges chinas. Silly little tidbit.
I mean, this one. Why do they call people from certain sections of Puebla la China poblana? Like that's an oxymoron, right? Like, is there like a lady that looks Asian, specifically Chinese? They were born there, but they're just saying, oh, that's the natural like China poblana here. Like, have you ever heard about that saying?
I've heard of the saying, and I think it has to do with their outfit, right? Not necessarily the person. Yeah, that's all I got for you, buddy.
I never knew that. Thank you. I never knew.
No. Again, that's as far as I know, but I don't really know the details on that. As far as the calling the oranges chinas, I do believe it's because that's from colonial times when like Spain and Portugal would take oranges over to the islands and they would import them from China. That's why they would call them chinas. And
Damn.
that's why they call them chinas till this day. Not necessarily naranjas, right? But yeah, just a little.
Today I learned that's
tips.
another one. Yeah.
What else?
How about this one with the smartphones?
Yes, go ahead with your smarty phones.
A period where people were figuring out how to design smartphones, more like mobile phones nowadays. Are they boring now since everything is ubiquitous on the face, on the user interface value of us having just slates of glass? Do you consider that boring? Like for me, I never had the swivel phone, the Sidekick. I remember having the LG Chocolate with its little keyboard and phone number pad. Some phones even say that they had the whole user interface of the pads like a rotary phone designed like in a circle, and that's how you would interact with the phone. Like, do you think when they were figuring that out, do you think that was a more interesting time of the interfacing section of smartphones? Do you think that was more interesting living through it, or looking back at it and having archive of like physical samples of this is how it used to be back in the day? We sold these models, or having Palmates, or what's the name of that little tablet that they used to have with the stylus pen?
The notes, or the what's it called, the Blackberries, or the Palm
no,
pads,
before that, palm pads. Like, can you imagine that? Like, everything is all already into, like, our smartphones basically is a palm pad. We can take notes on it. We can send text messages, emails. But versus in the day when they were saying, look at our phone. Our selling point is that it has a keyboard or it has a rotating screen. Like, did you find that time living through it more interesting? Or do you find it more interesting now that even though it's like 6 millimeters bigger or a quarter of an inch larger screen, millimeters less of a bezel, like as selling points, do you find that more interesting? Or do you find...
I guess the demographics have changed, or like the target audience has changed, right? It used to be, I guess phones used to be a lot more whimsical to a certain point, because I think the goal for a lot of people, especially for the consumer, was trying to get the phone as small, tiny, and compact as possible. Remember, phones or mobile phones used to be gigantic, and I think what most companies are trying to push towards is making something that you kind of like just, clamshelled up and put in your pocket or wherever.
The razors.
And not just the razors, but like the other original Motorola type of flip phones, and just other flip phones in general. Remember how small the footprint on those were compared to what we have in our pockets now? It's just
the Sony Ericsson ones that you slide up and down.
Right. So what we have are like glass and metal sandwiches in our pockets, right? So it's very different. Like the design language, the design language for both of these things are different, but also the target demographic is different. It used to be that a lot of these handhelds were made exclusively for people that were probably in business, right, or probably in the office.
Nextel,
right? The BlackBerry, right? These were for
you never needed a case for those Nextels.
Right. But again, as time passes, I think the innovator here, the one that really got the ball rolling, was Apple, right? And
Apple 2007 was crazy.
Right. So having the first smartphone opposed to a dumb phone, the design language was different. It was ahead of its time.
Imagine it failed.
Well, if it failed, then obviously people would innovate. I don't think people would just stand still and be like, oh, it didn't work. We can see that with the Zune, right?
I missed that. That was better.
Other offerings from other companies, right? Where some people went a different direction. I guess the bigger players, or
iPods.
Players. Well, companies that I guess got hip to the notion of like, okay, maybe this is something that we need to investigate on our own and kind of expand on. Kind of puts you in control of what you want, right? So you want a screen, you want to kind of not only listen to certain things, you want to look at it, right? So whatever the CEO and back in the day for Apple, I forgot my man's name. Do you remember not Tim Cook, the other guy, Steve Jobs, right? So Steve
Wi-Fi,
Jobs,
no.
nah, that was his right hand man. Steve Jobs basically came out with a device that was, I guess you can call it whimsical in its own kind of sense, because it was like a slab of glass and a button. That's all you had.
Yeah.
There weren't any multiple buttons. It was just one button and a screen. Compared to everything else on the market, obviously it was way different design language. But again, the target demographic back in the day was towards people that were office buildings, businesses. And what happens is that they wanted their Blackberries. They wanted the keyboard so they can type, email, and stuff like that. Remember, companies or phone companies were very different back then.
There's even an ad of somebody writing a book on a BlackBerry in New York City, going to work every day on Microsoft Excel.
So companies would charge you more
Microsoft
for minutes, right? So companies would charge you for phone calls. Texting wasn't very big, but email was big because that's what something like a BlackBerry would offer. And then the other, I guess you can say, flip phones and things, or dumb phones back in the day, were tiny, and they would get smaller and smaller. And that was how they wanted to, I guess, develop phones, right?
Not even a camera, some of them.
Right. Make it as small as possible, compact, as sleek as possible, because out of sight, out of mind, you don't have to worry about it. You just put it in your pocket and there you go.
Lasts for days.
Right. And then compared, right, exactly. There's no web browsers on your phone. There's no fancy gizmos.
No GPS.
Right. No cameras, no Google this, no Microsoft that, no
They wouldn't
Android.
tell you your phone needed to be in airplane mode, even.
Exactly.
You didn't use it.
Again, different game, different situation. It was all about phone calls. And companies back in the day would charge you out the wazoo for minutes, right?
Yeah.
I still remember when, I don't know if it was AT&T or if it was Sprint or T-Mobile or who it was, when they used to have the rollover minutes, right? So there would be a certain time, a certain day, like if you didn't use all your minutes for that month, it would roll over to the next month, and you'll be able to use those minutes at a decreased price. So I don't quite remember, but times have changed. Hardly anybody uses the phone as to call people like that. I think people more so text someone, or even nowadays like direct message through an app, more so than actually call people. So again, the whole situation has changed a lot from the humble beginnings of small, compact flip phones. And
even you would buy phones brought to you by T-Mobile or AT&T. Like
you had exclusives.
You would rely on the exclusivity. Nowadays, a big example that you shared me is that Verizon or AT&T collabs with Netflix, or Starlink collabs with T-Mobile. Like, do you remember that story?
T-Mobile with Starlink,
yeah,
or Hulu or Disney, or you get these weird, I guess,
these exclusives
collabs.
Yeah.
Where again, it's cool and all. I don't know if that's going to be the new standard for going forward, but I do know that it might be enticing for some people, not so much for others. For me, I mean, as long as as long as I pay for my unlimited plan, I don't see an issue with minutes or texting or even signal, right? Because in some places you have better signal or worse, depending on what your carrier is. And people that usually use their phone heavy when they have Wi-Fi tend not to really care because they're on Wi-Fi, right? So maybe they're just more used to using like third-party apps like WhatsApp, and you can make Wi-Fi phone calls, stuff like that. So I guess they don't really care for having a very expensive
or exclusive
carrier.
T-Mobile or carrier, there you go. Or a carrier at all.
It's true. I mean, and it's weird. I was watching this YouTube video the other day where they were explaining the difference between why third-party apps like WhatsApp or Line or Verb, I think it's the other one, why they're so big in other countries and not so much in the US. The way they broke it down is like, it came down to this. In the US, people got hip to having things like Apple, where you had iMessage. So you didn't really need a third-party app to text message, because you could do it with the iPhone, and it was all integrated in one design, right? And the UI. So a lot of other companies or carriers outside of the US would charge you extra for that type of texting. So it was very, I guess, expensive to text and call people. So when Wi-Fi came out and you're able to download an app like a WhatsApp, and they don't charge you for the texting, people would just use that instead of using the text messaging service or app integrated with the actual UI of the phone, because it would be too expensive, because you would have to eat away at your minutes or the text per whatever the carrier was willing to give you. And yeah, that was a big problem. That's why it's the way it is now.
The messaging apps is what flourished more irrelevant of your phone to enable communication versus here. It's more ubiquitous to have one brand of phone. Mind you, for the 2007, for those 3 years, everyone wanted an iPhone. From 2007 to 2010, iPhone grew in the high school. Mind you, there were even teachers like, I remember when Apple used to be just a computer company. Come on, man, the phone is the name of the game. They weren't part of the demographic, like Alan was saying. What do you think?
I'm Groot.
Would you like to slide in with this one? I feel like I am not a gamer that much anymore. Would you like to slide in with the gamer question, Mr. J? What do gamers want?
Money.
Do you think you can slide in?
Humorously expresses the gap between game developers and their audience. It highlights the ongoing struggle for original, polished experiences over endless sequels and microtransaction fatigue. Sources: YouTube.
Do you want to give that one a little gander, if you will, for that one?
Well, first we gotta fix on the factual reading here. So I think the first one you have here, a mind-blowing read. I'm gonna put that as a 90 out of 100.
Which one? The first one was
entirely right. Yeah, that wasn't entirely right.
Okay, it's not a 100. Agree.
What about the phone? Bring it down to 80. Bring it down to the 80.
Okay. What 80%. About the phone design?
That's fine. That's it.
Wait. What are we discussing?
We're talking about the factuality rating that I gave it about the phone, about the lemons. Like it was the approach that I used that said it was 100% true. But now the phone, he agrees with the rating of 85. Yeah, 85. Yeah, okay, now 80%. Now give me the one.
So now back to gamers. So this is just me, my opinion. In a perfect world, right? It would have to be, like I do like the whole original and polished experiences over endless sequels. We don't know. To be honest with you, nobody wants microtransactions. I think
the business does. The company does.
The business does.
Apple.
But the question is what gamers want. I think for the most part, gamers do not want microtransactions. So I think, in a perfect world, microtransactions would be gone. They'd be out of here. Nobody wants them.
Do you think you could click on the video once to show the example of what the person was saying when you get a chance? If you get a chance.
You pay me?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Let me see. Hold on.
Did someone pay me as well? What's going on, guys?
Titanfall 3. We tried everything there is and nothing's working. Still waiting on Left 4 Dead 3. It seems like half of the games we put out are destined to fail no matter what we do. Speaking of half, if we could get Half-Life 3, we gave the market 6 identical hero shooters with 0 originality, all within a year. What more could you people want? Portal 3 would break the internet. And then these gamers have the gall to say that it's corporate's fault. I miss Valve games so much. It's not our fault the development team can't meet a 4-month deadline. It 100% is. If it wasn't for us suits that actually have the vision, it would take years for a single game to come out. We just want games that work on launch day. And then once it's out, everyone complains, oh, it's so expensive. Well, then you tell me, how expensive should it be? A price that reflects the game's actual value. And once it's out, it's nonstop. We want new content. But you'll never tell us what type of content you want. Literally anything that isn't a $20 cosmetic or a battle pass. Even if we make a new game and it does become a hit, you guys just get bored of it in a couple of months. Because AAA games no longer have innovative mechanics or story. And all you ever hear anymore is how gaming isn't fun anymore and there are no good games. Gaming is better than it's ever been thanks to indie dev studios. It is only you giant corporations that can't seem to figure it out. Exactly. I know what you're saying, man. I totally hear you. You didn't listen to a single word I said, did you? It's just tough out here, man. I'm sorry, did you say something? Your games suck and you're stupid. Why are you angry with me? This came out of nowhere. We just don't know what gamers want. Titanfall 3. We tried everything.
Well, I have a personal story. How I ran into Medal of Honor. The first Medal of Honor. It was a demo disc.
And we're out of time. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Dang.
No, that demo disc was shared by all the classmates for PC gaming, and that's how I fell in love with Medal of Honor. After Medal of Honor 3, I'm like, I don't want this anymore. Like that's like, I know Medal of Honor was like the bee's knees for at least from 2006 to 10. After Medal of Honor 3, I was gone. No, thank you. I only played that demo disc. I think I never returned it. I'm sorry, Orlando, if you're listening to this video or watching this podcast. Sorry,
Name
Orlando.
dropping?
You said, here you go. Yeah, Orlando. In middle school, we were like, hey, want to play an awesome shooter? It was awesome for its day.
I was more of a GoldenEye type of guy on the ends for Mario Kart. Yes.
Yo, that was awesome. Good days. What about you, Mr. J? Like, do you think the gaming industry is just rinse and repeat?
I think it's a point for like AAA games, probably.
Like, tell me about Overwatch.
Like Call
Marvel
of Duty is a good
Rivals,
example.
COD 16. I mean, COD 8.
Marco, please sit down. It's okay. Let me
Black
handle
Ops
this.
4.
Marco, let me handle. It's okay, Marcos. Sit down. Sit down, Marcos. But yeah, Call of Duty is a good example of that, where like they release a new game every year, and it's like it's kind of the same thing.
Is it boring?
It gets boring.
Damn.
It's like maybe at the start of it, where it's like, oh, it's hype, we're about to play the new Call of Duty, and then it's like,
It's amazing.
it's the same thing as last year, man. Like it's like especially how like people are even like not liking the current one, and they're just sticking to the last year's one. So
And then the size of the store.
however,
like
indie games, oh yeah, and then indie games, you know, they're just popping off.
Yeah. What's a good example of an indie game that you have in your mind?
Let me see.
Oh,
Power
he's checking Steam. Yo, Power World is kind of weird in a good way. I recommend it.
Yes, it is.
I'd say for me,
I was gonna say like Elden Ring, but I think Elden Ring is not in the game.
Elden Ring is a AAA, bro.
Give it 4 A's just in case.
Yes, like Elden Ring, I think was also co-written the storyline by the guy that did Game of Thrones. What's this guy's name?
Oh, you could say Dead by Daylight as well.
That
That's
one.
been out for a while.
That one was awesome. Friday the 13th.
Not so much.
That's like 3 years ago. 2016, 20 to like
That's not 3
Halloween,
years
that's
ago.
No, obviously not. I'm just yapping in my head out. 2016 forward, like the indie dev games have been shining a lot even more. Baldur's Gate. What about Baldur's Gate?
Is that indie game? I mean, Baldur's Gate is a good example of an indie game if it is. I don't remember. Baldur's Gate 3?
Oh, it's the third. I'm sorry. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
which one were you talking about?
I just know the concept of Baldur's Gate. I didn't know how many versions. Like for me, it's just Diablo, the game. I don't know how many versions of Diablo. I don't know.
It's a AAA indie game.
Damn, what? That's an oxymoron.
Exactly. Indie studio, not necessarily indie game.
Okay. But yeah, like, do you guys like, Alan, when was like the time for you that video games were the bee's knees? Like, the youth, like, what era? Like, Mario Kart, what?
More than anything else, it was when I actually had a console. I don't have a console anymore. The only person that has a console in my house is my brother. So he has his, what the hell does he have? I think he has the latest Xbox flavor of whatever it is right now. And he's also a PC master racer.
So he can rejoice. He could get his Xbox Ally.
Yes, he does both. Actually,
Okay, no,
PC.
those-
Yeah, but he plays mostly PC now. Me personally, last time I had an experience with gaming, I guess I'll tell you the real quick one, and then the one that was actually in my household was when Mr. J came over with his laptop, his gaming computer. We played what was it, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, yeah.
It might have been Fighters, yeah.
And that was the last time I took a controller and played. But the gaming console I had, last one I actually and I played regularly, was GameCube. And
Brother, yes.
games that I played on GameCube that I really enjoyed was Need for Speed Most Wanted, and then the Sonic one, the Sonic and Shadow one. I forgot the name or the title of that game.
This be
Yes. Yes. There's like what I'll give you is revenge or something like that. It was great. So Sonic and Shadow,
You were into the GameCube world. Yes, brother.
Yeah. And then
Smash
also,
Bros? Did you smash Bros?
No, I did not smash any bros, but I played Mario Smash Brothers. Yeah. So I would always pick Dr. Mario.
Yes, sir.
And I would give people the hands and the pills with Dr. Mario. But yeah.
I'm a Samus main.
Oh, yeah?
I would
know.
like electric whip, missile, catch this missile.
I would throw the most vitamins and minerals at you. But yeah, that again, Need for Speed Most Wanted, and I think there was another game we played besides that, but I think those were the three. I think I played what's it called? What was it? Super Mario Sunshine, the game? God, it was another Mario game. It might have been Mario Kart.
On the GameCube?
Yeah.
So you might say you could say you gave it miles.
Yeah, or Luigi's
I never saw that one. Scared me, man. That one scared me. The promo.
The Luigi Mansion
one.
Yeah.
The promo. I don't know. It gave me the frights the first time I ever saw it. And the Kmart. You played the demos. They put in the trailer. Like that's creepy. I don't know how old I was. Like I remember that. Like no, I don't want that. Miss me with that, Mr. Luigi. Turns out that Luigi, I think, is like up there now. He's a menace.
Yeah. I don't know. There must have been another game. I just don't. I don't know. I want to say Duke Nukem, but I don't know if that was GameCube or that was that. It was good. Good times. Simpler times.
Would you say that you would put in some miles onto that GameCube?
Yeah. The GameCube. I had the limited edition silver one. That was great.
Oof.
That was the coolest guy. I thought it was the coolest guy, but obviously then I would get beat.
What?
I would get beaten playing versus, like say sometimes I would choose a different character that wasn't Dr. Mario and I got my ass kicked, or maybe we're racing, a Need for Speed, and then I lose, and I would invest a whole bunch of time on I think I had if I remember correctly, I think I was riding an Lexus. I don't know, that might have been the car choice, Lexus, or if it was some other car, but I think I unlocked most of the cars in that game. But yeah.
Would you like to slide in for the last bullet point, Mr. Allen?
Do I even have the complete list here? Where's a million? Oh yeah. The Million Mile Machines says segment celebrates the incredible endurance of vehicles, Toyota, and the resulting brand loyalty. This story showcases remarkable engineering and the powerful connection between owners and their especially durable rides. Source.
Okay, so this was inspired by YouTube. I did extra research on the side, and I put a factuality rating on this story.
So factuality rating is 98 out of 100. Real. ¿Qué dice? Undeniably. There they go. Undeniably true. Toyota's legendary reliability isn't just marketing to hype. It's a verifiable testament to engineering that fosters fierce owner devotion. Very good, Mr. Marcos.
I can say my family and I own two Toyotas, 1992 and 1995. They ran and are still running out south of the border. Those Toyota Tacomas.
V6 engines.
Yeah, we rode on them. 3 straight days, just ride, and they made it from the East Coast down to Mexico. Yes, sir. Unfortunately, like another bad example is, it's a good example how they're famously used in the Middle East by people. They just mount weaponry on top of them and just use the Toyota Hilux, which is a Tacoma here in the US, but it's renowned for its durability that even the military says, hey, why don't we just make more deals with Toyota? Because I feel like there's something sly going on internationally speaking, that Hiluxes are the bee's knees in everywhere around the world, including, opposition forces for the US government or military.
Yes.
But yeah, those Toyotas, even though we had the Tacomas, for example, Alan, do you have any truck or work car stories that you say these guys never give up?
Yes, so we have a Toyota Tacoma.
Yes, brother.
My dad's Tacoma is, what is it? 07, I think?
It's over 100,000 miles easily.
Oh, yeah. My dad took it to Mexico maybe 2 or 3 times, taken down to Orlando a couple times. I think it's also been in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
God dang.
Yeah.
That's like 250K, 250,000 on it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Or more.
The, what's it called? The big work truck. What is
It has to be a Dodge Ram, probably.
no
Or a
no.
Ford?
No, the I guess you can say the big truck that we use that we have for work is a I think it's a Mitsubishi. It's a 92, I think 92, 93. So it's quite old.
It's still running though.
Oh yeah. And then the newest edition is the Ford Super Duty.
How has that one been treating
it's a
you
Ford
guys?
250. Been great, super good, super strong. It's strong like ox.
Man, I'm just saying the agents they have something good and just perfect it. Like,
Well, I don't know.
now those
Ford
trucks,
is
man.
pretty American.
No, but the Toyotas, like the Tacomas,
Well, not every truck from every year is good. The newer Toyotas aren't, like, the engines aren't the best compared to the
V8s?
ones. Not that they're not their V8s. It's just I think they have superchargers now or something, or turbos on them, which it
probably
sucks
like a
up.
smaller engine. Then yeah,
It sucks up a lot of air, but it makes you waste a lot of gas. I guess you can say those engines aren't made to last compared to older models of Tacomas. Same thing with the Tundras. The whole nonsense that the government had pushed, where you know how you kind of idle your car when you're at the red light and it kind of turns off on you, and then when you hit the gas it's like, that's bad for the battery, that's bad for your car in general. And if you have like a whack, and again I say with respect and love, if you have like a Hyundai, right, like these new Hyundais that have been coming out, they're so bad. It's like the car, the what's under the chassis is just not the best. They break down on you after a while. That's why they and that the crazy part is that these owners or the heads of the company at Hyundai went out of their way to go and hire the people from places like, I believe it was like Lamborghini, if I'm not mistaken, or Mercedes. So some of these like really, I guess, already
does Mercedes
established companies.
have work trucks? Do they have work trucks?
No. Hyundais, when I'm talking about Hyundais, I'm talking about like the Hyundais, the Genesis of the world. I think the new, I don't know if they're Sonatas or the Elantras, but point being that the new Hyundais that come out, they look super nice because they hired the people that designed the cars, but they didn't hire the people that worked on the engines of the car. So the cars look really sleek and nice, but what's under the hood is not the best. So after like not even the half-life of the car, it starts breaking down on you because the engines are just terrible.
They hired the wrong people. Well, I guess they hired the right people to make sales.
Yeah, to make the car look beautiful, I guess you can say.
The artistes.
Yeah, the body looks amazing. And you kind of look at it from the side, from the front,
the back.
Yeah, and the car looks sleek. It looks really nice. It looks very elegant, very polished. But when you start riding the cars, and I think something similar is happening over at Nissan, where Nissan.
What do you think about the CVTs?
Nah, gracias.
The transmission?
Yeah, no gracias, my friend. Nissan and Mitsubishi and I think Isuzu, if I'm not mistaken, or Suzuki.
That's still around?
They tried to do a merger. I think it was either Honda, Mitsubishi, and Nissan, if I'm not mistaken. They tried to do a merger a couple of months ago. It fell through. They didn't.
In Japan.
They weren't in Japan. Like, if the merger kind of fell through because they couldn't agree on whose name was gonna be, was gonna stay on top or in front of the whole company.
Mitsubishi and what else?
And Nissan.
Toyota? Oh, Nissan.
No, Toyota is actually, even though it's not doing very well, it's still better off than the other three companies. And but again,
crazy.
Vehicle sales are down. Obviously, not only domestically, but I'm guessing internationally as well. And even now, I think Toyota has what's called production over here in the US. So even though it's a Japanese car, a lot of the production is done here. But all car sales have been doing terrible. It's been down because
of the tariffs.
After COVID, forget tariffs. Tariffs have probably been bad for them. But the COVID situation was worse because no one was buying cars. Like
no one was driving anyway.
Like you wanted a car, people were trying to buy older cars. The older cars were selling higher, like the same if not higher than new cars.
They preserved their price so well. I told you the story, right, when my mom swapped her 2013 Honda CRV for a Toyota 2018. The both of them, it costed her like 18,000. She was able to get 15,000. No, it costed 20 something thousand that 2018. She was able to get 18,000 from her 2013 Honda. I'm like, what the hell? That never happens.
I can imagine that. Yeah. Yeah,
like,
but
that was crazy that time.
Yeah, so it's like right now, if you're in the market for a car, like I would say, I would probably suggest, again, not financial advice or any advice whatsoever. I'm just saying, be wary about the pricing. Check the car or have your mechanic go with you to take a look at that car before you purchase it, because you don't want to be paying like over the, I guess, sticker price of what the value of the car is. Yeah, be very careful, because it's not even worth it sometimes. You're buying a depreciating asset. Well, not even an asset, just a depreciating piece of consumer thing or other. So just be careful. That's all I got to say with that. Again, the merger fell through. I don't know if they're going to be attempting that anytime soon again, but probably, because I don't think financially they're very stable at the moment. Nissan has been doing terribly with their engines as well. So
no,
yeah,
really,
as of late, they
haven't
been doing well. That's why their sales are also down. Not only because, like, again, they haven't really produced anything of note, and what they have produced hasn't been the best, especially with
Can't they just be stable?
Well, a lot of people have given them critiques about, hey, just, fix this little piece or this part of the engine, and things would be probably going a lot better for them. But again, trying to tell a company that's halfway around the world what to do and how to go about it is probably not the most helpful thing. Maybe they wouldn't even listen even if you had their ear or attention to speak to them. Maybe they did.
Compared to that, to the Ford, how has Ford been out there in the market right now?
Ford has always been very stable in the sense of, like, they produce pretty good trucks compared to other trucks. Again, I think the States or the United States have been producing trucks or pickup trucks for the longest time. Like the competition, like Chevys, right? So it's Ford, Chevy, GMC, Ram, Dodge, right? Not everyone has everything right, but they all have their little quirks. And obviously the US is the number one consumer, I guess you can say,
of trucks in the world.
Trucks. But then again, that's one of the issues that's been going on as of late with politics. And again, I'm not trying to go deep into that, but one of the issues is that other countries like to sell. They like to sell their vehicles into the United States, but they're not willing to take our vehicles and use them over there. So it's a very one-sided type of a deal. But other than that, as far as like us, the family, we've had Ford, we've used Ford vehicles before. They're really reliable, they're good. Again, not the best, but not the worst. And I think the use case that we have the truck for, it's really good.
The value has been worth it.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The price, yeah.
Yeah. That truck pays for itself every day.
Yes, sir.
And we also have the Honda Pilot, so that's also a very reliable vehicle.
From what year is that one, the Honda Pilot?
I want to say 2013.
So it's still strong then, since then.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as long as you take care of the vehicle. Again, I have a Mini Cooper. It's a 2-door, small little car that you can fit anywhere, like in a shoebox. Man, Mini Cooper is fun. It's
fun to drive in the small streets.
Yeah, it's a manual. It's a stick shift. It's fun to drive. It's just that, obviously, that like most small cars like that, especially with that one, for whatever that year model.
What year is it, if you don't mind me asking?
I want to say it's 06, 07. I forgot what. No, I'm sorry. 08, 2008 Mini Cooper. And it's just a stock Mini Cooper. It's not a S, it's not a Coupe S or anything like that. It's not a convertible. It's just the hardtop. And again, 2-door. It's a reliable car. Again, for whatever reason, 8 models had the tendency to overheat. Like you feel the engine heat up a little bit more
Like
than you would like.
when you're in it, like the heat shot is not working.
No, it works. It's just not the best at doing the job, and that's been an issue that you can see and find out like when you do a little bit of research. It's like, yeah, that's one of the issues. It runs a little hotter than other models. And I think they did have I forgot what it was. I think not that they had a recall, but they had an issue with a piece or a part of the car. But the car is still very usable, very reliable. And obviously, as long as you give its maintenance, it runs well. Again, not the biggest car, so you can't really fit much besides yourself and maybe one other person, even though those seats in the back,
they're just for show.
He kind of, yeah. I mean, you can fit 4 people, but it's like you kind of have to squeeze a little bit.
Can you fit me in the back over there?
You could fit in the back.
Big.
No, you could fit in the back, but I would prefer you sit in the front just because leg room, and I know you probably would appreciate the leg room.
I can fit. I can make myself small.
I know you
Josue
can.
Josue and I can fit side by side. Smallly.
Yeah, no, both of you would probably fit in the back. That's not the issue. I think more the issue is like you being comfy. It would be the issue.
We'll be shoulder by shoulder. I'll be sleeping on his shoulder, and he'll be sleeping on my shoulder.
Oh man, I don't know if Mr. J would allow that. He'd be like, "Excuse me, give me some space." Remember, hit you with the 6 feet.
In the Mini Cooper.
Exactly.
6 feet apart, or you get these hands, he would say.
Oh, absolutely.
These hands are ready to eat for everyone.
But we're in a little Mini Cooper, Mr. J. What do you mean?
Don't matter.
He'll give you the Mini Cooper hands.
Ready to eat for everyone, Marcos.
But the space, we gotta make do with what we got. We gotta get
Ready
in
to
there.
eat for everyone.
Pause.
Oh man.
No, I Uber.
But
Said, Uber.
or just get your good shoes and just get to step and no less of the sea.
I'll give you the biggest stop it with the new shoes. What you mean?
You're like, wait, what? No. I got my white shoes.
Oh, yeah.
White shoes.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And tell me, calm down.
All right, calm down.
And with that one,
All right.
gentlemen, do you have any final words for the dear listeners?
Yeah, let's go with this anime stuff, yo. Y'all haven't even said 2 words about the anime season. Y'all like it or not?
Been catching up with all. Oh, really?
You haven't been liking it? Been whack.
The only show that I like has been, let me check. Let me pull out my notes here real quick.
Felt like you had a pencil in your mouth or a spoon.
End after the beginning, after the end, or something. Is that your go-to?
I think that might be it. Yeah, with the king reincarnates into like a different time or something.
Yeah, that's a good one. What have you seen the one with the swordsman? The match.
The one that was
And the
country bumpkin.
Tyler.
Yes.
I think that one's good.
Oh, I gotta watch that one too. That came
Ends
out
up fighting
today.
a dragon at the end, right?
Mhm.
Yo, don't spoil it for people.
I can parry everything.
Yeah, that's not it. That was not what he was talking about.
It was another one, but
So
I
the
know
only
which
ones I like has been the beginning after the end, the Underwear Atler Meister,
oh yes,
That one's good.
Artillery,
Artillery, yes.
and then
These French
that's about it.
words.
And then the
I
Crunchy
love it.
Pumpkin Swordsman guy.
Yeah, I know there's another one that's been
Fire Force. Oh yeah, Fire Force has been
Fire
out.
Been
Fire Force
fired,
has been
though.
really good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
it's
good.
actually been really good.
Have you been watching in English?
I haven't been watching it
No.
all. No, the answer is always going to be no.
This is the appointment that we reached in Marcos here. He excels in everything else, but the dubbing is.
It's like
where
I
he-
try to hype him up. It's like, yo, you watch it in the English dub?
But yeah, everything else has been like. Everything else has been like okay. It's like
That's me good.
Like for example, let me see here.
You need to learn
The
Japanese. that's what I mean.
Shunji family children, kind of
Bless you.
and then the can a boy and girl friendship survive is just weird. It's I don't know. Oh, this one's good. The A rank party, right? Yeah. Wait, where's
No,
the full?
A
Oh,
rank
sorry, I
guy
left-
goes to
I left my
My
A rank party to help my former students reach
My
the
C
dungeon
class?
depths.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
That one's pretty good.
That one's good.
I've been watching that one.
Same here.
That one's good, but that was from last season, so
Yeah, it's a
I don't
continuing,
really-
right?
What about the over-the-counter assistant?
Oh, and then the brilliant healers, new life in the shadows is pretty good.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Okay.
Which one? The one you were mentioning, Marcos?
I'd rather be a receptionist than be an adventurer. Anything but an adventurer.
Which one is that with the girl?
That
That's
has
the
a big axe.
receptionist.
Yes.
A big what now?
A big
An
accent.
Oh.
axe.
Oh, with the axe. Okay. I'm sorry, sir. I misheard you. I'm like, damn. Are you watching the regular Crunchyroll or are you watching the Crunchyroll?
The Dojin roll.
The raunchy roll? What?
Dojin roll. No.
That's wild, bro. Oh man, I'm sorry,
1,000 miles.
man. So yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Marcos. I agree with you, Mr. J. Yeah, it's been an okay season. Hopefully, this new season that's gonna be coming up soon is a little bit better, I guess.
I hope so too. I'm like, bro, where's the content? The content.
I think what's coming up this season, I think it's Overlord.
I don't know.
Really?
I think
Really?
also
Don't tease me.
yeah, I think also I was gonna say what's that one with the goddess Aqua and
So we got
Konosuba?
My Dress Up. We
I
got
think
My Dress Up
Konosuba.
Darling season 2.
Season
coming
2?
up.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Kaiju number
Yes.
8. Don the Don. Unless you
Okay.
watched the movie.
Eh,
We're getting season 2.
Demon Slayer.
I think.
No, those are the. Oh, Rising the Shield Heroes coming out.
Right there you go. That's the one I was thinking about.
The Riz Healer.
The Riz Healer. Oh, that's good.
Doctor Stone. Getting stoned by
Oh,
Doctor Stone is getting
see.
another season.
Well,
Wow.
Or I guess
no,
like a
man.
continuation.
is the what's it called? The Reborn as an Aristocrat coming back out?
The Assassin.
No, but
Yeah.
Reborn of a Vending Machine is coming out season
Come
2.
on.
Good stuff, man. Enough of
Reborn
that.
as a Sword. That one was better.
You like that more than the machine, bro?
Yeah.
I thought they were
Same
both
stuff.
pretty mid. It was alright.
Oh, what about the slime? Reborn as a slime. That one's been good and good.
No.
You mean
Oh,
No?
I reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical abilities. Getting season
That one's
2.
good.
Oh, that's
That one's
good.
good.
I like
The
that
one that
was pretty
perfected
good.
like
I
weird.
said Kaiju.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, Kaiju number 8 can. You watched the movie too, you would have seen like a recap and like a new episode.
I'll wait. What about the 1 million or 1,000 year something mission for Fairy Tail?
No,
Oh.
100 year. What?
I was gonna say Dragon Cry. No, but that's a movie.
No, that's a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, the 1,000 year,
100 year?
100 year, what, war?
100.
I think it's called.
What do you guys think about that one? I've never heard any statements about you guys. I never watched it.
I
so-
never watched it.
I know.
Alan?
Oh, Rent a Girlfriend is getting another season. He's like, no. She like, no, I don't want you.
He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, but I spent all this money on you. He was like, nah, I'm good.
This investment. Yes.
What? That's an investment? Dang, bro.
Imagine they say that.
Invest in D.
Indeed not.
Oh, no. What's in
I
the
I see here. I see here the Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, but I see it as Rascal
Season.
does not dream of Santa Claus.
Well, I think
Okay.
it's spin-off,
A
isn't it?
spin-off.
That's wild.
That one was a good show. Even though it took forever for them to dub, I liked it.
Wait, they dubbed it?
I think it did in High Dive. I think it's in High Dive.
See.
I'll look it up. I'll share it later. But
Okay.
yeah. But yeah. Right now, Konosuba, Overlord, Kaiju number 8. Those
I
are
don't
my
see
top
Overlord. I don't see Overlord here.
Oh,
Really? Oh, I must have been
Yeah.
mistaken with another skeleton-looking guy.
Sakamoto Days is coming back with the season 2.
Did you like
Saka-
that?
that's the assassin guy?
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. It's pretty good.
What about the what's it called? With the spy and the assassin.
Spike's family?
Spy. I don't
Are
see
they
that
getting more?
here.
No. Okay. I know there's
I think they
another.
are, but I don't see it. In
What
this
about
coming
the-
season.
Eminence
another
in
one?
Shadow?
I don't see one here. I know it is,
I don't-
but
Do you think like he got isekai at the end of season 2? Spoiler.
yeah, but
I mean-
they have trailers for the next season.
Wait, wasn't he originally a isekai? So he's getting
He got
isekai.
tied. Yeah, into another world, I think, or hit back to his homeland. I don't know right now. Huh?
He's like, stop
What?
moving. Stop moving.
What?
So you moving
Stop
too
moving,
much.
Marcos.
Guys, no.
And,
I don't think I even see Overlord here.
I wish, man. The ending of that season was like, we break you when you break into my.
He break you because
my
you break
dungeon.
in?
Yeah, remember, like he broke everyone that broke in to raid his dungeon.
Yes.
He threw hands with everyone, and mind you, the world building, pretty good. They showed that there's more stronger potential enemies out there. The dragon that had a suit that he controlled.
Do you know the way, Marcos?
No, I don't.
There you go.
But yeah, with that one, with that little tease, any final words for the listeners or the viewers?
No. Nah, I don't. Just gonna say, have a good night, everybody. Happy Father's Day. And
remember,
that's it.
You're gonna eat, you're gonna comb your hair, you're gonna take showers. Don't ever dare forget to wash your hands. You don't need that food poisoning.
You don't need that Marcos poisoning.
Pause. And you already know where to find us on the links in the description. Social medias. You'll find us down there in the description.
If not, we remind you that's on X, Instagram, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. I think that's it, right, Marcos?
Yes, sir. Hopefully, stay frosty and hydrated.